into another makeup tutorial. This one is all inspired by Brandy's look from her new video with Monica, It Belongs to Me. So the song is hot, the looks are hot, the fashion is hot, say no more. So I had to create a video about this look. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you guys get some great tips. The video is amazing, so if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's bananas. Well, anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. All right, you've got to start off with moisturizer. So I'm starting off with my Strobe Cream moisturizer from MAC. Next up are All About Brows. I'm going in with a brow color that is a slightly lighter than mine. It's actually Lingering by MAC. And just feather-like strokes. Again, you want this to look as close to hair-like strokes as possible. Now to highlight the brow, I'm going back in with Makeup Forever's High Definition Concealer right underneath the arc and just highlighting underneath the brow because we really want that to pop for this look. I mean, Brandy's brows and Monica's brows were so just perfection that we definitely want to emulate that. So now I'm going in with Black Opal's Cream Stick Foundation in Beautiful Bronze to contour. So I'm contouring the eye area in the crease right there on that bone there underneath the brow and along the sides of the nose. I'm blending it in with a fluffy blending brush from MAC. And you can already see the difference there. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so I'm packing on Maroon Cream Foundation onto the lid. Instead of doing a paint or what do you call that stuff? Shadow base. I'm actually just going to use foundation and powder to really cling on to the eyeshadow, or for the eyeshadow to have something to cling on to. So you don't always have to use a primer. So now going back over with the powder, and then I'm dabbing on MAC's eyeshadow in Silvering onto the inner corners of the eyes using an Urban Decay eyeshadow brush. So this is going to kind of act as a highlight, and we're just going to stay with those gray black tones for this kind of gray smoky eye. So now bringing in MAC's Print eyeshadow, which is a deeper gray satin kind of finish eyeshadow, but it does have a lot of color payoff. So we're working that from the middle of the lid out to the outer corners, and then a little bit up into the crease even. So now we're going a little bit up into the crease. It's all about color gradation. So we're definitely bringing it from the lash line into the crease area, and it's going to have that smoky effect. And as we blend in deeper colors, that's just going to continue. So kind of feathering out there at the corner. And just building on some of the color. Now I'm taking MAC's 239, a flat brush, and I'm taking the outer edge of it to blend in some of that same shade into the crease area. So this is also just to enhance that smoky effect. You know, just when in doubt, just keep blending. So and now going in with a black matte shadow. This is MAC's Carbon Black, or Carbon. It is a black shade, and taking that from the lower lash line in the outer corner of the eye and the upper outer corner of the eye, and then kind of working it into the outer V area, and then bringing it in to contribute to that smoky effect. Now I'm going in with MAC's Black Tide, and it is a black shadow with a little bit of silver finish in it, so it's going to add a little bit of sparkle, very kind of subtle sparkle, but you definitely want a little bit of sparkle to mimic this Brandy look. I mean, those girls were glowing in that video. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It is on the blog. So now I'm coming into the eyeliner, which is a Stila smudge proof eyeliner in black, and just kind of winging that out a little bit at the corner so it is slightly upward. Kind of think cat eye, that's what you want to think, and then bringing it in and being smaller in the inner corner of the eye and closer to the lash line. So now I'm going to go over that with that MAC's Carbon Black eyeshadow, which is a matte black eyeshadow, to set the liner. This is such a great trick. A lot of women lose their liner throughout the day. If you're one of those, then this is a great way to help your liner stay. You just go over with a black matte shadow to set it in place, just like you use a powder to set your concealer or set your foundation. It's the same kind of idea. So definitely keep that in mind when you're doing your everyday makeup routine as well. Alright, so I'm coming in with Stila Stay All Day liner, and this is to give it more impact. This is a liquid formula, so it's going to look more velvety. It's just going to look like even more powerful, and putting that a little bit under the Stila Smudge Proof is just really going to add to that color gradation and the smoky effect. So now I'm going into my waterline on the other eye, coming underneath with that Stila Smudge All Day waterproof liner. And again with the pen, kind of winging it out there on the outer edges of the eye, because you want to have a little lift. And when we bring our liner underneath the eye, we're going to connect it so that we can get that kind of slanted cat eye, a lifted eye there. So see how we're connecting it now on the underneath to that wing shape instead of just coming out at the outer corner of the eye. So definitely be mindful of that, because that changes the whole look. So you definitely want to try to do that as best you can. And then when we come in with our concealer, we'll go right up under that. So now I'm adding a shadow. I'm going a little bit heavier at the outer corners, but I'm using MAC's Print eyeshadow. Again, smokiness, color gradation. So we had the black. Now we've got the gray kind of coming underneath the eye. And don't worry if you make some mistakes under there. That's the whole reason of doing the eyes first, because we can come back, we can do some cleanup, which I'm going to do here in just a second. Cleanup time, using some MAC makeup wipes to come in and clean up any boo-boos that we made before we apply our concealer. So now coming in with that same shade of Maroon Cream foundation, and I am using this on the cheeks. I'm going to use this as a highlight color, a highlight shade. So I'm using my Beauty Blender sponge to really work in the corners of the eye. Now this isn't the prettiest move here, but ladies, if you want your concealer to not cake up and not stay up under your eyes and get all powdery and cakey and move around throughout the day, then you really want to do this. Look into your mirror and just get into those creases and crevices and anything that's going on under that under eye, and just really work the product into the under eye area. So the better you are at doing this move, the more your concealer is going to stay in place, the less it's going to cake up on you. So definitely try to get this move. And the Beauty Blender sponge is ideal for blending in concealer or lighter foundation under this area. So now I'm just stippling to blend in that product into the skin, and you can kind of see the progress as I press the product into the skin. You can definitely see the progress that's happening as it blends into the skin. And again, just really working it. Don't be afraid to take your time. Don't be afraid to work the product. So a little bit more highlighting. Now I'm coming under the jawline. This is what's really going to lift the cheek. This is what's going to make that contour, when we bring in that contour, to stand out a lot more. So just going right underneath the jawline, where we will contour right underneath the hollows of the cheek. So not in the hollows of the cheek, because that's where we want to contour, but just underneath it. And then also in the center of the forehead, those natural highlighting places, think, where does the sun hit you? So that's kind of where you want to do. So down the bridge of the nose as well. And now stippling, just like we did before, another makeup move that you want to remember. I'm going just a stippling all over that product to blend it and work it into the skin. Pat, 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 and pat, 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 pat. So now I am highlighting the outer corners of the mouth. This is another great trick for keeping yourself looking young and fabulous. To give that lift to the mouth area really just adds, gives you like an automatic facelift. So think facelift without surgery, no surgery required. And you can definitely, this is something that Kim Kardashian does. All the starlets are doing this. Sam Fine is very big on this, one of my favorite makeup artists. So definitely a lot of highlighting around this area. One, it's going to make your lip color pop. It's going to make you have a more precise application. And then it's also going to lift the face, which is an added bonus. So now stippling that and working that into the skin as well. Alright, as promised, we are now contouring, so I'm using that same shade of the Black Opal foundation as we used a little bit earlier in the eye area, and I'm just working that into the hollows of the cheek, and I'm going to carry it up. Think of it like a bra, so I'm lifting the cheek the same way that you do, that your bra lifts your cleavage. That's what we're going to do with these cheeks. So now I am contouring on the sides of the forehead, under the hairline, the temples, and the jawline, and just kind of working that in a fast, vigorous motion. Didn't want this video to be too long for you guys, so I definitely sped up the video on this so you guys still get the general idea, but it doesn't take as long. So definitely keep this in mind that this is super fast. Zoom. And we're still going in that super fast motion. Now I'm stippling and working the product into the skin with the Beauty Blender sponge, just as we did earlier. So lots of patting motion. I promise I'm not hitting my face as hard as it looks. So now I am coming in with a lighter shade of powder to hit those highlighted areas. So you don't want to use a powder that's going to be the same color as everything else on the face, because you want to accentuate the areas that we've highlighted and accentuate the colors, the areas that we contoured. So the only way to do that is use different shades of powder. So now I'm coming in with a contour shade of powder, which is Max Mineralized Skin Finish in Deep Dark, and I'm using a small brush to cover the contour area and just kind of set that as well, because it is a cream formula, so we still need to set it. Lashes. Add these on and be right back. Alright, so now for the cheeks, I am dabbing on MAC's Blush Cream in Blossoming, which is a pink, a true pink, kind of a bright pink shade, perfect for spring, and this really is perfect for this look. So I'm popping it onto the tops of the cheekbones. And now for that added glow that Brandy had in the video, which is amazing. Too bad I don't have the same great lighting that they have in the video, but this is definitely suitable to recreate this look. So going right all over the top of where I just applied the blush cream color, and then bringing a little bit on the tops of the cheekbones as well, under the chin area, along the bridge of the nose, all the areas that you really want to really pop off your face and come forward for a little added definition. Alright, and now I'm lining my lips. Yes, there is more speed. I was very precise with this, but I didn't want you guys to have to wait. So I am putting on MAC's lip liner in Cork, just lining my lips very precisely, filling them in slightly at the outer corners. Again, more definition. Think a full lip, three-dimensional. This is MAC's Jubilee. I'm brushing it on with a Stilo lip pencil. Fast and Furious makeup. Gaga 2. I love, love, love this color. I don't think it's available anymore. Hopefully there's something comparable out there, but pop that on. And then to give a more dimensional lip and staying with kind of creating this three-dimensional face, I'm popping on some of NARS Albatross Gloss into the center of the pout. So the center of the bottom lips as well as the top lips, and we're all done. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.